Hey, what's up? Um, got a twofer. First of all, we're gonna test out to see how much I fixed my circular saw, the DCS573, on the video that I did fixing the problem with the plates not being parallel to the blade. Second of all, we're testing a new mic out. So I'll give you a look at the mic package here. For full disclosure, the other mics that I got seemed to work okay. I thought that I was having a problem with them, but since I've run them a couple of times and I haven't had a problem with them, so they seem to noise cancel well. I shot a video last night of me and the wife working on a large bar top for a charity job we're doing for the new Veterans Center here in Falmouth, and we were sanding and planing and using an angle grinder to shape the bar top, and the noise chatter was just a little too much on her end. We have both mics going, one on me, one on her, and the audio for talking comes through good, but the her angle grinder really drowned it out. So I didn't end up posting the video, but we're going to check these out and see how these work. I'll show you what the mics are. Can't remember the exact price on them. I should know that off the top of my head, but let's just say they're around 30 bucks. This is what they look like. I bought them off of eBay. They come in a cool charging case. It actually has the percentage that they're charged when you plug them in. It's got USB-C hookup just like my cell phone, which is cool. And they all charge in the case. It comes with two mics and a receiver. I have the receiver hooked up to my phone. You do have to get a cable on mine, USB-C female to USB-C male, to hook it up to my phone while it's in the case, which I have. I got it for the other mics. And we'll see how the audio sounds, and hopefully it doesn't suck and I don't have to delete this. But what I'm doing right now is that I've got a customer for white oak. She's putting some white oak shelves in her house, and she wants a couple of pieces cut. They're a little bit asymmetric. In other words, their walls are out of square. What I want to do with these is kind of cut them to, or do some measuring, cut them out a little bit bigger than raw width, and then joint one side and trim a side on the table saw. Unless I use this piece. If I use this piece, I don't really need to, because it's got some weight on it. She kind of liked that idea of maybe having that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 4 shelves and let her pick 2. It kind of wastes a board, but that's kind of the nature of the beast. So I'm going to cut some out of here, and what we're going to do is we're going to try to run the saw against a fence and see if it tracks straight like it never has before, ever. We can cut, actually, the end of this one right here has got a pretty good angle cut from the wedge cut on the tree. We can cut this one first and we'll check that one out. And I'll show it on video to see if the saw tracks straight across the square. I don't think my speed squares, I'll get a big one. I'm going to go over and just grab a big speed square out from under the mill, so it's nothing special. It'll give me a chance to walk away from the camera a little bit, make sure that these are supposed to have pretty good range. So what I'm going to do is we're going to mark the edge here where the edge is. I want to take as little off it as I can. We'll mark a straight edge across there. Actually, we don't know if it's straight, so we'll just do the other side too, just to just to make sure, in case this heavy pieces, in case this angle cut is not square to itself. We'll just mark it on both sides. There's some weight on the bottom of this too. And it's not square by over an inch, so we'll just mark it here to get rid of that angle piece. Oh, man. And I'll get set up to make this cut here. I'm gonna just figures there's so many things going against me here, which is the story of my life. If I cut it, so what we'll do is I'm going to get you over here and kind of zoned in on this cut, and we'll get to see if the audio drowns out too with the sound of the saw. So normally when I cut along a straight edge, I like to hold it up here. I'm not going to be able to do that in this case. So we'll just cut it along like this. And what we're gonna see is if the saw wanders away from the square. It's just a general cut, so it doesn't matter. I want to see if the saw will cut along the square without wandering away like it always has. And it didn't. That was good. So it appears that my fix worked. Now let's see if the cut came out square. It just figures that there's some rock in the slab itself. The cut came out nice and square, beautiful. So it appears that my fix for the the circular saw, if you didn't see the video where the edges of this plate were not square to, were not the same distance to the blade on both sides by a lot. I think as much as 60 thousandths on both ends. And I always had a problem with this saw walking off. When I did cut along a square, when I did cut along a square, what it would do is it would walk off like this as I was cutting. Not a lot, but enough so that the cut wasn't square. And it appears that that problem has been fixed, and it walks along the square perfectly now. So that's a good thing. So let's, looks like it made a pretty good cut. Let's cut ourselves. So if you look at these two pieces, let me get some of the stuff out of the way here. I know that the important thing for me here is going to be the sound quality, but I do have a piece of metal damage there on that one. I'd rather not use this piece. This piece here is closer to what she wants. She wants them about 12 inches wide. This piece is 12 inches wide. The overall length is 39 and change on each one, and it's asymmetric. In other words, her walls aren't square, and they got to fit in between two walls. So I am going to, this should be over 80. Yeah, it is. These are 8 foot. These are 8 foot, and a little bit. So I could cut both pieces out of this one chunk right here. What I'm going to do, just kind of back you up here so I'm not walking off camera on you. I'm going to go ahead over and I'm going to grab a couple of stickers to prop this up on, put it up on here and cut this into 2 even chunks. And we'll keep testing this mic audio, see how it sounds. I'm just trying to talk in a normal voice. I'm not trying to raise my voice or anything. Just trying to talk in a normal voice so I can see how the sound quality comes out. What I'm going to do is throw this up on top, pull this over here. We're going to measure out, we'll square up this end, and then we'll take the middle out of it. See if we can give her 2 chunks out of this one, if that's going to be good for her. And then I'm going to go in, I'm going to run the 2 of them across the joiner on the straighter side, which is this side right here. Yeah, this side's straighter. So I'll joint the 2 of them and then trim them on the table saw so that they're square. And then call her up and say, come get them, and see how she reacts. This one's got quite a bit of wane right here. There's no way around it. I'm either going to give her wane on this one, or I'm going to give her wane on this one. So we'll see what they look like. We'll take a 40-inch chunk out of this side first. And then worry about that one later. It also has this little inclusion where the tree came in here, that if I wanted a shelf, I would rather probably not include that. Some people would want it. So let's just see here. Take it out to 40 here. I'm hoping these mics sound good. I mean, I want to give you guys, decent sound quality when I'm out working. So let's just cut this one off right here. See how it works across the other side. Oh, battery dead? Huh. That's such a... Can't even tell how that cut because there's such a hump in this right here. There's no real way for me to tell. So I marked it over here and then moved this over here, and this is not even close to the same. So didn't seem to walk away from the fence, which was good. It's 40 inches. So that's one chunk, one shelf. Oh, this has wane on it too. So I think if I could get away with giving her this one too, the only problem with it is that it's only got wane on one side. I think it'd be better maybe if I gave her that one that has more consistent wane on it to look like that. So just show you what I'm dealing with here. So this shelf here, if I give her this one, this one's got cool wane on the bottom, and it's very symmetrical. So I think if it were me, I'd want that on both of them. So I think I'm going to take a 40-inch chunk out of the other one. If the width is the same, they got to be the same width. So I got 12, just over 12 there. Got just over 12 here. Such a tough call. I want to waste a whole other piece just for a couple of shelves. Now, if I give her this one, the only problem is that we're getting less than 12 on the top here. If I give her this chunk with that limb inclusion, I'm almost giving her a clean piece. I think I'm going to go with that. Let's do that instead. It's kind of an either or. And I'm cutting them off just a teeny bit long from what they need to be because they're, like I said, they're asymmetrical. In other words, that both of these sides are going to be angled in like this. So let's cut it off there. See how that goes. That last one wasn't sitting on the stickers very well. That's why it bound up the way that it did. Wasn't sitting like this one's not sitting on the center one right here because this is higher. So what it's going to do is when I cut it, it's going to drop down. You can pull these out. Get these off that one so that it doesn't give the appearance that the saw bound up on its own. And it's still pretty loose in the middle. So it is still going to bind a little bit when I get to the end of the cut. What I'm looking for is I'm looking to see if the saw walks away from the fence, and on those cuts it did not. So let's hope that that's good enough for her, and that this is the only piece of waste that I have out of that. Maybe that'll end up going to some crafty person that wants to make some sort of charcuterie board. So we have the two 40-inch chunks here, and then she wants a mantle too. She wants to talk about the mantle later. I think these would be neat with both of them having a little bit of wane on. Whether she chooses to put them on the bottom or the top, I don't know, but I'd put them on the bottom. Yeah, that's good. Both the same length. One of the problems is this bottom one, it's got a pretty good hump in it where it went through that spot. Gosh darn it. Let's check this one like this. Yeah, this one's relatively flat. This other one's not flat. No, let's get this big bump in the middle. I do not want to plane that out. Break. I don't want to plane that out. I'm going to give her another piece. I mean, that's just going to be ugly in a shelf. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Where the blade, where the band went through, and I could just plane this by hand, but I don't want to throw the party here. You see that right there? So if I don't have to give her that piece, sucks. Without me having to, you know, her paying me to machine these down. You know, this is just a $4 a board foot. I need 2 shelves. I'm redoing a house by myself kind of gimmick here. And that's not going to be good enough. At least I wouldn't want it. So let's cut a chunk out of the other one. I can give her that cool asymmetric wane on the bottom on that side and waste 2 boards to do this. There's no other way about it. At least not as far as I'm concerned. Let me move these mics. Let's see if I can do this different. Maybe just take this board over. Sucks. Nothing like cutting up this beautiful white oak log and ended up with beautiful boards riddled with metal and ending up in a situation where I get to waste a ton of it for a couple of shelves. Now I could just charge her for the total size of the board to save myself from throwing the party here, but I don't think that's exactly fair. Why is this thing doing this? I'll try to give her one that looks the same as the other one. So this one has this cool, the wane kind of similar to the other one on the wide end. And it's going to be 12 inches on both sides. So I can kind of center this wane up. And both of them will look the same if I do that. Both of them will look the same if I do that. So let's do this. Let's just true up the end. We'll measure over 40 inches. We'll cut that one off. And we'll throw the whole party. We will throw the party. And this is 8-quarter white oak. So you can see the saw is running really nice through it. We'll measure over 40. We'll take the chunk out of here. It'll kind of have that same look as the other one. So if I want to center that wane in it, I could cut another inch off that side. Let's go to, so that wane starts at like, it's 41 and a half, 41 and a half. I'm going to cut this side at 42. And that way this wane will be right in the center of the piece. So if she decides to pull the bark off, that curve in the bottom will be right in the middle. And like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these to the jointer and I'm going to joint one side. Actually, if I joint this side, because of the wane in the front, I won't even need to do anything with the front. Probably on either of them. Could give them to them the way they are, to her the way they are. Says she's got a handyman to help her with her, you know, Joanna Gaines restoration deal here. Whatever, Mom. Just fell down. Let's see if this one's flat. Yeah, this one's flat, so that'll work. So I'll show you what I ended up with. I'll give you a look at this. Yeah, those will look cool. This is kind of what you have to go through when you do this kind of stuff. But if you see both of them here, they both have that kind of same symmetrical bark layer in the bottom. Whether she'll put that on the bottom or the top, I don't know. But that'll look very, very cool in shelves. And then I think they're both flat enough. So we'll take it from there. Hopefully the audio on this comes out good. And, you know, somebody said to me the other day, you know, oh, you need to show more enthusiasm in your videos. So hopefully that's enough enthusiasm. It's as much as I can muster right now. You know, my point to them was that they, you know, you have to remember, this is not about being a YouTube creator for me, or you know, this is a job for me. This is, you know, everything that I do, from, you know, the machine to all the wood lying around here, to the logs, to, you know, my new load of white oak that just came in, to all these offcuts and the area and everything. You got to remember, this is a job. I'm not out here flying drones around and, you know, have the wife out in the yoga pants to take still shots of her and stuff like that. You know, this is work. You know, as stupid and simple as this seems, you know, I'm trying to give my customer a good looking, decent product here. Something there's thought that went into it, and there's thought at a cost at $4 a board foot. You know, you're talking about right there, you know, that offcut's a $25 piece of wood. You know, that little offcut right there is a $6 or $8 piece of wood at $4 a board foot. So, you know, I apologize if I don't show enthusiasm, but, you know, what do you want me to say? I'm not, this isn't an entertainment channel. We're we're doing work, and I'm sharing the journey with the work and how to fix a circular saw, or hopefully, if this mic sounds good, you know, what mics you can buy. And we'll give one more look at the mics here. So if you choose to buy the mics, if they work, I don't even know if they're going to work yet. I mean, I hope they do. But I bought them on eBay. And these were, you know, the other ones that I got that do work were 12 bucks. These were at least twice that, if you know, if not closer to 40. Like I said, cool charging case, USB-C hookup. Easy to pair. You know, you just plug them in and turn them on, and they're hooked up, and we have audio. So hopefully they work. And I can tell you that the fix on the circular saw, I know that I want to explain this, what was happening here, okay? Because I don't want to get, you know, yahoos commenting on the saw binding up. What was happening here was that these pieces, this was up in the middle. So as I made this cut, they dropped down and pinched. As far as the cut went, the cut followed the square perfectly. It did not walk away like it used to. And I have made, let's just do this. Let's just do this because it's going to aggravate me just thinking about it. I hate to think about these things, but I'm going to make a few cuts through this white oak right here on the end where it's not going to matter. This saw, let's go ahead. I'm going to take a 1/2 inch over. This saw powers through 2-inch thick white oak. Like nothing, okay? So that's 2-inch thick white oak. You can see that this is beautiful. There's a little bit of water in it. It's kind of wet, but this is beautiful, solid white oak, and that saw powers right through it. So that binding was not a cause of the saw not working. It was the fact that the board was dropping in the middle and pinching the saw. So I just want to show that. If I had a piece here that I felt comfortable ripping without wasting, I would. But anybody who's got these saws that wants to know what's going on knows this will rip this with wood in white oak all day. I can't tell you the amount of projects that I've done out in the field with pressure treated and big, huge deck projects and stuff where I've ripped stuff down all day with that. I mean, it'll power right through pretty much anything. So I don't want to see a comment about that saw binding when those boards dropped in the middle and it just grabbed it. You know, this saw is not an underpowered saw. It's got balls for days. Just the only problem was the shoe wasn't square to the blade. Now it is. So that's it. And hopefully you guys will see this video, because if I don't like the audio, I won't put it up. But that's where we're at. I'm going to take those up. Probably run the backside across the joiner, just take the high points off it. And then I got to cut it to finish length, because I don't understand well, I have a handyman that'll help me, but then I need them cut perfect. And well, I'm like, well, what if, you know, her inside dimension towards the inside where it's captured by the walls is smaller, so that essentially the piece has got to be splayed. And I'm like, well, what if one wall is square and the other one isn't? So she's going to have to deal with it. I talked her into leaving a gap on both sides just as a finish guy. You know, gaps look more purposeful than you trying to put it in tight and having it not go tight. Then it looks like you didn't do a good job. But if you leave a consistent gap, then it looks more purposeful. So I talked her into leaving a quarter to a half-inch gap on both sides of the shelves because the walls are out. And I'm cutting them a quarter. I'm going to cut them a quarter inch on each side, so a half inch smaller than their dimension with display. And hopefully, like she says, she has this handyman. Hopefully he can run a circular saw and make a cut if it's not right. So that's it. And hopefully the audio's good. And I'll check back in with you another time here as we go forward. So this is Pirate Solutions out.